Welcome back. It's another episode of the Manson Brothers Show.
What a name.
Who's the Manson brothers?
We're going to talk this week about the Tobe Hooper directed Funhouse. No, not the other one he directed. We're talking about Funhouse, 1981.
Funhouse.
Me and my brother Skull, we're going to have fun. We're going to talk Funhouse, and we'll be right back with more fun. See you in a minute. Well, we're back. It's the Manson Brothers Show. And again, we're talking about the Funhouse. I'm your host, Stone Manson, here with my big bro, big lovable bro, the one and only Carlos, a.k.a. Skull.
I am lovable, if nothing else.
You know what? It's really topical that we're talking about this because you remind me of
I don't like
could have worked at a carnival.
That's too much humidity for me. I'm more of a desert guy.
What?
Topical climates.
That's tropical, knucklehead, not topical. Topical, you know, in the sense that we like to have fun. It's the Funhouse. You could have easily been a carny. You're right there.
Technically, professional wrestling, we work kind of.
Yeah, it is kind of carny-ish, isn't it?
It's where it came from originally.
That's true. That's a good point. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
We'll talk about Kayfabe. That'll be
okay.
Signposting. There we go. Tell us about this week's hat.
This is a derby, otherwise known as a bowler hat. Yeah.
If you flip that over, you can put your chicken tortilla in there.
Curly Howard, Malcolm McDowell, and John Bonham.
Oh, there you go. I'll go with Bonham on that one.
Yeah.
So, 1981's The Funhouse. Let's dig in.
I love this movie. I think it's kind of an underrated, underappreciated film because when topic of horror movies comes up, 80s horror films, the Funhouse really isn't like floated out there a lot, but this is a really solid film.
Do you think that it doesn't get the credit it deserves because it's Tobe Hooper and it's so Texas Chainsaw centric that this gets looked over?
I don't know. All I know is when it came out, I believe it got good reviews, and which was odd for a horror film at that time, and it did make money. So I know the budget was $3 million, which was a lot of money. Yeah, it seems really big, especially since they have a kind of a no-name cast. And then it grossed, almost $8 million. So it
Speaking of gross,
did well.
The Killer. Oh my God.
Well, again, this is not a review show, folks. We're talking about it. Spoiler alerts all over. If you have not seen the Funhouse, I highly recommend you watch it and then come back here because we're going to talk about it and expose everything.
As a matter of fact, there's several gross things in this movie. I'm going to kick it off with
banana tits.
No.
Oh.
But you're close. This is the first time I've ever seen the combination of a psychic horror.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure there's ever been another one in the history of cinema.
Yeah. I don't know.
And sadly, the psychic horror has to perform a rather gross act.
Yeah. She's really a great character too. She's a gypsy that does a fortune telling act at the carnival.
Yeah.
And she gets mixed up with the people that run the Funhouse are this weird carnival barker and his son, who is like a mutated monster killer. Yeah. And so
and we don't know this one. He's the son who actually made it out on the other side because the other one
died. Right. So he's wearing this Frankenstein monster mask, so you don't see that he's how hideous that he is. Yeah. So he pays the gypsy, who also, I guess, does tricks on the side, pays her $100 to perform services on him, and he prematurely ends the arrangement. And so he wants his money.
Diplomatic way of putting it.
He wants his money back. Well, she's great. It happens to the best of us. She's actually trying to be nice to him, right? Yes. She's like, don't worry, happens to the best of us,
Yeah.
So he tries to get his money back. She doesn't want to give him the money back, and he inadvertently winds up killing her by pushing her against the electrical box.
I thought he strangled her.
Well, maybe he did, but I know he pushed her against
the box. He inadvertently strangles her.
Yeah, well, he kills her.
Well, and our hero and heroines witness this.
So let's go back to these people because it's a whole big setup. So it's two couples, right? It centers around the main girl who is a brunette. Really great homage to Halloween at the beginning of the film.
Yeah, there's a whole track.
It's really cool. Yeah, and she's sort of on not a blind date, but a first date with this guy who drives a really cool car, by the way, Pontiac GTO. Oh, cool car.
Super cool.
And he's kind of a douche, you know. And so
kind of Jack though. He looks like a
yeah,
loose guy.
yeah,
Other than that bad haircut.
Yeah, he's a hero type.
It was the 80s.
So
70s.
they have a great idea that they're going to spend the night in the funhouse.
Great idea. Like,
and so they witness this whole affair from above, right? So they witness the whole thing on. So here's my question. So the funhouse from the outside just looks like a normal carnival attraction funhouse you'd see at any carnival. When you get inside, it's like Doctor Who's TARDIS. This thing is never ending. It has multiple levels. It's got a basement. Where do they put this thing? Do like go into every town, dig a foundation, have a 3-level thing?
I'm not sure, but what I find intriguing is it's called the Funhouse,
and nothing fun happens there.
And the guy is kind of barking at everybody that you're never getting out of the Funhouse.
Well, that's traditionally
the Funhouse.
Well, the guy does. That's why he kills the gypsy. He comes in the Funhouse. But we're gonna keep it clean. But here's the thing. So the Funhouse is way back when. It was a funhouse because on dates, they have scary shit in there, so the girl would have to snuggle up against you. That's why.
Oh, is that the reason?
That is right. That's what the Tunnel of Love or anything else. They had scary stuff in there. That's what it was supposed to be.
I had a girlfriend I used to call the Tunnel of Love. That's another story altogether, though. So, well, I never knew that was what a funhouse was all about. I thought it was actually supposed to be fun.
Well, they are now,
but a scary house would be a haunted house.
Right. Back in the day, though, that's what they did. There was like the devil and all this other kind of
You must have gone to a lot more fairs than
I watched a lot of cartoons. You can see them in the old Popeye cartoons and everything else.
So anyway, the Pluto hat on. That's perfect.
So they witnessed the killing, and then the dad, who is played by Kevin Conway, who is a great actor, who's been in tons of stuff.
The dad from Invincible,
many other things. He comes in and he's the carnival barker. No one can imagine the terror of the funhouse.
Right.
Horrifying.
None of that makes sense, by the way.
Really, really creepy. And he comes in and he starts admonishing the kid, right, or the guy, and
the freak.
The freak.
Now, freak is that?
Yeah, we can call him a freak
because there were freak shows, right?
Correct. Yeah. And there was one in this carnival. There is an actual freak show that they go to.
You know what I didn't see in this carnival was the dude with the singlet and the handlebar mustache,
strong man,
Dumbo up there.
Yeah, the strong man. They didn't have one of those. They probably had fallen out of favor because by that time bodybuilders were worldwide. Yeah, it was worldwide. But he comes in and he goes to, so what happened before that, before the guy comes in, was the kid sneaks down there and this other kid, Richie, the second guy, steals the money out of the cash box.
Bad move, Richie. Bad move.
So when the carnival barker comes in and finds the cash missing, he goes berserk. And now he knows somebody else is in there. And that's when we have the reveal of the monster, which is a really great reveal. It's shocking.
Do we consider him a monster, or is he just like a mutant?
He's a mutated guy.
I mean, he has a monster face.
Yeah, he's a disfigured guy, but he looks like a monster.
There's a lot of
creature.
There's a lot of Michael Myers in this guy. He's got the jumpsuit. Yeah. He's got the crazy blonde hair, kind of. Yeah. Face is white. I mean,
I could see that. But he's really horrific looking, and it's a great effect, and it's a great reveal. Like Tobe Hooper, master director, great reveal. So then he tells and then there's this weird, I don't even want to know if I call it weird, but it's a weird character build between the father, who's the carnival barker, and the monster son, and he's telling him, hey, just do this one last thing. I want you to kill these kids. Just do this one last bad thing for me, and I'll take you fishing. It'll be like old times. And it's like, you kind of get the feeling that he really cares about his son, who is a murderer, because he talks about these other carnivals where this guy killed little kids and stuff like that. So it's really
that would be one of the things
cool build
that I kind of didn't dig about it. Okay, would be that I wanted to see the monster kid either be kind of sympathetic in the sense that his dad always made him kill people.
Right.
But you didn't have that sympathy because you hear about
him killing
the locals that he's killed.
Right.
So,
but it's interesting.
There's times where you want him, he seems like he's okay, like he likes the girls, he doesn't really want to kill them.
Right, and it's an accident, but then he reveals that, this kind of happens on a regular basis, and then he tells them, I don't care what you do with the locals, you don't do that to our kind. So they have sort of this big family thing, and all the carnival people in there are really weird, in like the bet, and what I mean weird is in not in not a bad way as characters, really interesting and believable and creepy.
Well, actually, there's a lot of interesting characters in this thing.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the things I love is that every single thing that's going on is in the backdrop of the carnival or the funhouse.
Right.
So I don't know if they call them animatronic back then.
Yeah, animatronic.
But you have all these animatronic characters around constantly.
Yeah.
That either have a smile on their face when someone's getting butchered, you know,
yeah.
one-eyed fat
It's
lady.
cool. And inside dope on that, they went around and they found all this stuff at some old carnival in Ohio, and they brought it to the set. Those were all original pieces.
They did a hell of a job with that.
None of them were manufactured. That's really cool.
And it makes it creepy. It's almost like a clown thing.
Yeah, the sets in this thing are great. It by and large all takes place in the funhouse itself, which is really neat. So now it's a chase between the 4 kids and the monster and the guy because the funhouse is all locked up. So that's where you kind of have to suspend your disbelief a little bit as to how big this place is.
It does give you kind of the I don't want to say it gives you that dreadful feeling of you're stuck on their
impending
territory.
doom, right?
Yeah.
You're in, and it's a small, and even though it's larger,
they know it really well, and you don't.
And
that's all.
And it is a smaller place, even though it's bigger than it actually would be. But it's still small, and you know sooner or later they're going to find you.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So then they start wiping the
sooner
kids
than
out.
later.
Right. Sooner than later. And I wouldn't call the kills in here particularly interesting or inventive, but they're different and they are cool. And I think the way that they set them up is cool. And they happen in sort of short order.
Some of them are kind of it leaves it open to the imagination too. What's actually happening?
Yeah, what's really happening? Yeah, what's really happening?
I can go either way. Like I'm fine with the kind of Hitchcockian. You know, you don't see what's happening.
It depends how they do it. If they do it really well, it works great. If they don't do it well, you're like, oh.
And I don't mind the Hellraiser style either, where you get to
they show everything
that's happening.
It depends how they do it and if it's effective or not. Because sometimes they don't show you, and you're like, well, this blows. And other times, if they do it right, you're like, oh my god, it was so
eviscerations
awesome.
can be cool too.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody's narrating an evisceration, usually it can be cool. I know a lot of people get in trouble with that stuff.
Speaking of getting eviscerated, you guys should check out our film, The Manson Brothers Midnight Zombie Massacre, too. It does not take place at a carnival, but it's got a lot of similar... It's
got a carnival atmosphere.
Absolutely. It's like a carnival.
A lot of guys running around in weird outfits.
Absolutely.
You can get it on Blu-ray and DVD at Amazon.com or at MansonBrothers.com, or you can watch it on Amazon Video, iTunes, Vudu, YouTube, wherever they have videos.
So let's give away some more inside baseball, since the people out there, you know, they've seen us talk regularly about wrestling and our connections to wrestling, how much we love horror movies. But
there is a big tie-in to wrestling and
tie-in between carnivals and wrestling.
Yeah, so wrestling came from carnival originally, and we're not going to speak it today, but we have our own language and we speak Carney language. And that is what wrestlers used to speak when fans were around, so that they didn't understand what the wrestlers were saying.
Exactly.
Right. So, and
same thing with the Carnies.
Right. So it's Carnies. Right. So it's Carney language.
It's called speaking Carney.
Right. 100%. So when, when we don't want people to say we kayfabe it, we don't want people to hear what it is.
Oh, are we giving away kayfabe?
We're going to talk.
We're going to break kayfabe right here. The wall.
I'll tell you, a wrestling
term of the day. This is a big one, folks. Kayfabe.
Kayfabe.
Take it away.
Kayfabe. So there's a lot of different stories about the origins.
It's not a chick named Kayfabe.
It's one word, Kayfabe, of where it came from. And it came from, I think, Kayfabian at some point. But anyway, Kayfabe is basically a code word for, hey, there's marks around, there's civilians around.
Right.
Let's not talk about business.
Don't let them in. Don't talk business.
Don't talk business.
If you're talking to your arch enemy, you need to separate.
Right. So kayfabe basically means that we're not giving the secret away. Or sometimes it's used as a verb. They kayfabed it, which means they didn't give it away what it was.
Now, much like many of the other terms in the wrestling glossary, I'll use over is a good example. Gimmick is a great example.
Gimmick.
Kayfabe can be used in many different ways.
Exactly.
Like you just said, it can be a verb, it can be
a noun.
breaking kayfabe.
Kayfabe is a code.
Exactly.
It's a code that we live by. It's also,
right.
a verb.
Yeah.
Right? Don't hey kayfabe, everybody kayfabe.
Or if
yell kayfabe,
when you would go on a road trip and you take your own pillow with you, right? And someone snag your pillow, you'd be like, hey, kayfabe the pillow.
Yeah.
Like get away from the pillow.
Away from the pillow.
You really probably say kayfabe the gimmick.
Yeah, the gimmick.
And that means you need to understand that's my pillow and stay the fuck away from
right.
it.
That's these real spanky guys would talk like that.
Don't name any names.
I'm not gonna
name any names.
Some guys take it too far. But anyway, that's where it came from, and that's it. Kayfabe. So there you go.
Well, and wrestling started from basically, we've talked about this before, the Carney hooker.
Right.
Who could take on anybody. They would challenge.
What very famous A-list actor started out as a professional wrestler?
Dwayne Johnson?
No. I mean A-list actor, not A-list movie star.
He's an A-list actor.
Okay. If you say so.
Dwayne, if you're watching.
No, wrong.
I consider you an A-list actor.
Wrong. And he didn't wrestle in the Carnivals either.
Oh.
It was Kirk Douglas.
Is he still alive?
No, he passed away a couple years ago.
But he's not a famous A-list actor anymore.
But he is a famous A-list actor who wrestled professionally in Carnivals before he was an actor.
That's
and I would tell you, made a lot better movies than The Rock. But
what about Dave Bautista?
Dave Bautista is actually a good actor.
And has he been in a horror movie yet, Dave Bautista?
Yeah, wasn't he in that zombie thing on Netflix?
Oh yeah.
He's been in a movie. Yeah, he's been in a couple. Yeah, I think he's got one coming out right now.
Zombie thing was okay. It wasn't terrible. Came out pretty much the same time we did. We got a higher rating on JoeBlow.com. Thanks everybody at JoeBlow.com and that's how we got this show.
Yeah. So getting back to the Funhouse. So the monster's chasing him around, and finally we get down to the final girl.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, he kills this other chick. And that's the one you're saying we don't see it, right? We don't see till later what he's doing, but we get the idea what he's doing. Now, she tries to bargain with him by saying, hey, I know you like girls, be nice to me, and then she winds up doing something to him, and that comes back to haunt him later.
She shivs him.
She shivs, right? Yeah, right. Instead of him shiving her, which is what he wanted to do.
Well, that's
a
different style of shiving.
Right. So, right. So...
Righto.
Righto. So then he's chasing the final girl who, guys, folks.
Okay, she's cute.
Sorry.
She's not the typical. Well, listen, the typical final girl is never the best looking girl in the movie ever. Jamie Lee Curtis, Heather Langenkamp. The girl that is the final girl is never the best looking.
Yeah, but they're cute at least.
Now, rarely is the final girl naked. And in this movie, the final girl is naked.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how she got to be the final girl.
And I wish she wasn't.
Oh, she's not that bad. When did you get so goddamn picky?
I've always been picky. But that's beside the point. But she's a good actress, and she
puts on good.
Pulls it off very well. And there's a cool scene. So there's a subplot with the brother, right? So she tells her little brother, who scares her at the beginning of the movie, I'm going to get you so bad, you're never going to forget it. So he sneaks out, because he's a little kid, sneaks out from his drunken parents' house and goes to the carnival on his own and winds up actually seeing this horror, right? And he winds
up
getting...
I got to stop you.
Yeah.
I got to stop you. Folks, this is one thing I'm going to say about the Funhouse, because I've been wanting to bring this up the whole time, and you just hit the nail on the head. Not until Train Spotting is there a movie about worst parents
than this
history of movies.
I'm telling you.
The mom is terrible. The dad is pretty much terrible. The monster kid's dad is terrible.
Yeah.
Every parent in this movie is the worst parent ever.
And it's kind of cool. The parents are sort of role reversed, where in this movie, the mom is really the uncaring,
haggard,
asshole, drunk
doesn't give a shit.
And the dad is kind of the one who's sort of even though he's like,
he wouldn't say shit if he had a mouthful.
Right, but he's a better parent than she is.
Well, there's a
super
low quality parenting going on.
And there's a super creepy scene where they go to pick the kid up, and he's like unconscious in this Carney's trailer.
Yeah.
And the Carney is
I washed him up real good for you.
It is.
And the dad's like, okay.
Yeah,
great.
They don't think anything of, we'll just get him home. Thanks. They're not thinking everything of it, and it's really suggestive, like overly suggestive.
Yeah. And by the way,
Super
we're
creepy.
considering this bad parenting from now, which
Yeah.
anything is bad parenting. And like looking back at it then, we understand that people smoked and drank around.
Yeah, we're not saying that. We're saying this is far
This is like
that.
over the top.
Yeah, this
Poor
is not,
parenting.
Yeah, right. This isn't like Ma telling us to tuck the seat belts under the seat because they might fly around and hit us while we were driving.
To make this parenting look halfway decent.
Right.
So
there's a cool subplot with the little brother, right?
Yep.
Which I found was effective. The movie as a whole really works. It's got a great ending. The imagery is awesome. The way that it's shot is awesome. I think it's Tobe Hooper's best film next to the original Chainsaw. A lot of people say Poltergeist.
Yeah, again,
I like Poltergeist, but it's not as good as this.
I feel like it really probably got glossed over because it happened. I mean, I don't know if it followed Chainsaw Massacre.
No, because Chainsaw was 74. So this was like 7 years later.
But this is, I mean, it's a good, solid horror movie. And like you said, nobody's ever heard of it.
I think maybe because it came out in the slasher cycle and it wasn't a slasher movie.
Well, as we commented on the rewatch, 1981 was a big year for horror movies. Right?
Yeah,
and
huge.
In general.
Oh my God.
And maybe this got lost in the shuffle because it was an 81 release.
I think it did.
But it made money.
Oh, yeah.
So clearly it did well.
100%.
I'm just not sure that it stood the test of time like Chainsaw Massacre has.
But it holds up really well.
It does hold up.
It's not that it doesn't hold up well. It just doesn't have the recognition.
Well, I mean, you have this kind of monsterish guy, but he's not like Leatherface. You know, it's
he's not like Leatherface. He's more of a monster, and he's a cool monster. I mean, it's a great makeup.
He's got two noses.
Wouldn't you say? Great makeup, and the actor that plays him does great. Folks, if you've seen this movie...
He drools a lot.
Yeah, he drools a lot.
So,
if you've seen this movie, we'd like to know if you feel about it the way that we do. Do you think that it's an underrated film, or does everybody know about it and we just don't know? Just don't know everybody knows.
I don't know. I mean, again, I would say very underrated. You don't hear it talked about in the list of
even when these channels show Halloween movies on TV, for Halloween, the
Funhouse was never on.
Never one of them.
Nope.
Never one of them.
And you know, I don't know, maybe nowadays it's just because we're not allowed to treat the oddities of society, I hate to say that, the same way that they were treated. Right. Like you couldn't make Funhouse now,
no,
I don't think.
No.
Because it would be blasphemous to make
because you'd be making fun of certain groups of people, and
thankfully we're not so politically correct, and we're happy to
and God forbid this was a real story. It'd be horrible.
God forbid any of these movies were a real story.
Good point.
Good Lord.
Yeah, good point.
God forbid this was a real story. Oh wait, it is a real story. Tell them how we pay the bills, Carlos.
We pay the bills by selling these fine Blu-rays and DVDs available on Amazon.com and also MansonBrothers.com, where you can get these awesome shirts that you see us wearing and these hats. We got these cars that are in the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
And right before we go,
we'll sign everything.
We're going to get a viewer email.
Nice.
This is going to be a classic. I have a feeling this is good. What do you think?
I don't know. Whenever you say that.
All right. Here we go. This one comes to us from Todd Deed, and Todd is from, no, not Omaha. Where is Todd from? What the hell does this say? Shipley, Oklahoma. Wow, where the hell is Shipley, Oklahoma? You ever heard of that before?
No, not in Oklahoma.
I used to hate the Oklahoma days because what's his face was a real asshole.
Who?
Yeah, the old Bill Watts.
Oh, Bill? He was okay. He just didn't like you.
Okay. He was an asshole.
He didn't like you.
He was a bully. Why I didn't like him. He wasn't going to bully you. So
no, he was pretty tough.
All right, hold on, Todd. I'm getting your thing.
I can give him a reason to bully me.
Whatever. Yeah. Oh, hey, if you guys get tired of driving after 300 miles, get out and do some jumping jacks, and then get back in the car. Go another 300 miles for Christ's sake for $40. Anyway, hear me out.
We digress.
So Todd, here we go. Todd says, "Hey guys, if you were to go to a carnival, what would be your favorite ride or game to try and play?"
Ooh. First of all,
good question, Todd.
I don't ride the carnival rides. That's number one.
Yeah.
I've been hitting the head too many times, and it throws my, equilibrium off.
Mm-hmm.
So, but games, I like them. I like the shooting games, and I like the dinging the bell with the hammer thing.
I was
'cause
going to
I'm
say,
a
now that
master
seems
at
like it'd be
that.
right up your
I
alley.
can kill that one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can kill that one. That's
Yeah,
a Hulk smash thing. I can do that easy. How about you?
I would be willing to go on the Funhouse only because it's only so elevated, right? And I know that most of these derelicts that are put together, these
Yeah,
rides,
even if it fell apart, you'd
right,
probably be okay.
And I know they're put together with duct tape and bobby pins, probably. But those aren't really fun. Like, there's no way I'd go on that music one that flies real fast.
How about that one that goes upside down and then the whole thing turns as it's going like this? The zipper.
No,
that's what it's called.
And nothing where it's extended and you're out like hanging by some chains.
No, because I'm telling you, that car's coming flying off of there. You're dying.
Absolutely. I would probably say
I
like that. The old machine BB gun.
Yeah,
right?
that was a cool one.
That was
cool.
kick-ass.
Or the one with the darts, and I like the ducks. Too.
Step right up and win some crap. So it's a profit thing.
It's the best pizza in the cup.
This guy blows the other pizza in the cup guys away. So, hey, on that note, it's time to take it home.
Great movie. Watch it. The Funhouse, 1981, directed by Tobe Hooper. It's an awesome movie, awesome monster. Give it a shout.
That's right. We'll be back. Like it or not, it's the Manson Brothers Show. I'm Stone.
I'm Skull. See you later, shitty pants.